Hey, I'm back. This is Chandler for Melda Production, and today I'm going to show you how you can create lo-fi tape effects. You might be wondering, why would I want to do this? But actually, this is used quite a bit in hip-hop and some other genres. Even sometimes in rock, you'll hear this type of effect in the intro of a song. And so I'm not talking about distortion or anything like that. I'm mainly just talking about wow and flutter and another effect I'll call jitter. And although I'm not really doing anything distortion wise, it almost sounds like a distortion. And this kind of lo-fi effect can, really give some texture to some of the elements in your music. So let's get started. What I'm going to use is MVibrato. The great thing about this is it's free, so there you go. You can just go to meldaproduction.com and download it as part of the free bundle. But you might want to actually pay to unlock it, because when you unlock it, you can save presets and you can also use these modulators, I believe. So we're actually going to use some of those, and you'll see it'll be useful. So let's start with the wow and flutter effect. I'll bypass this, and you can just hear this. It's just a short riff of me playing electric piano. So there you go. You heard it, and it just sounds like normal electric piano, nothing special there. But let's try to, make this lo-fi, add some vibrato so it sounds like wow and flutter. It sounds like the tape is speeding up and slowing down. A similar effect is sometimes heard on vinyl, so if you want to have like a record effect, this can also work for that. But I found that generally having something around 50% or 75% in the depth, let's try just like 60%. It's good here. And the rate at 0.2 to 0.6 hertz is good. So 0.2, let's go a little bit higher, like 0.4. Now let's listen to this and hear what it sounds like. Now you hear it's kind of moving, kind of wobbling. If I turn this up just a little bit more, you'll hear even more of it. It'll be even more apparent. So as you heard that, you're like, oh, okay, that's nice. But you're probably thinking, adjusting both of these like this is a little bit time consuming. So let me show you an easier way to do this. If you just go to the multi-parameter here, click clear and learn. Let's just move this a little bit, move this a little bit. Click it again. So now it says M1, and let's just label this flutter. Now if we look down here, we have the rate and the depth. So I said before, the rate is usually about 50%. Actually, the rate is usually about 0.2 hertz. So 0.2 to about 0.6. Now let's go to the depth, and I said about 50% to 75%. It's already at about 50% now, but I'll move this up to 75%. Now, as you notice when I move this, it'll move both of these together. So let's hear it, and let's increase the flutter. So there you heard it, and that's really cool because that's an easy way to control both of those at the same time, and you can just save that as a preset and use that, however you want. One thing that is not so good about this is when I move it down to 0, you see there's still some kind of flutter going on, and you may not want that because you might want to automate this and increase it and decrease it during your song. But I can show you actually how to get rid of that. So let's go back in here. And let's go into the depth. We won't mess with the rate, but although we could do the same thing. If you look here where it says show transformation shape, this is how we can actually affect this. So first, let's turn this on. And now let's go here. And so what you'll notice here is this looks completely linear. It goes from 0% here to 100% here. Now what we're going to do is actually change this. So I guess the throw of the knob works a little bit differently. I don't know if that's actually throw. That may not be the best terminology, but bear with me. First thing I'm going to do is right click here and just have it snap to X grid and snap to Y grid. That way when I move these things like this, see, it's snapping to the grid, which makes things just a little bit easier for us. So at 50%, this is what I want, and let's move this all the way over here. And so now it's going to go to 0 here as soon as I move this down to 0, but it's quickly going to go to 50% when I move this up. So now you see it's 0, the depth is at 0, move the flutter up. And so I'm only at 40% there, but it's already at 50% here. So it just changes the throw. Another thing I could do is change it like, let me see. Here, just add another node there. So it quickly jumps up to 50% like this. Or actually that's 75%, 73%. But you get it. You can adjust this in all sorts of different ways, however you see fit. I liked it like that. And so let's hear it again, all the way off. It's a little bit much, but depending on what you're using it for, that could be good. Now, the next effect is jitter. So this one you probably hear in a really worn out tape, or oftentimes I remember this from VHS tape. So when I was in elementary school, they would play like a movie, but I don't know what was going on with my elementary school's VCR, but it wasn't good. But I oftentimes remember they'd have this type of problem. So I'm actually going to use another instance of MVibrato like this. Turn this one off. Open this. It's copied, has the exact same settings. And we're going to change the settings here. Instead of flutter, let's call this jitter. And for this one, the rate is going to be actually much faster. So let's just have the rate start at 10 hertz, which is really fast, and the maximum value will be 20 hertz. And the depth is also going to be different. It's going to be a lot less than the previous version. So I'm going to go between, let's say, about 1% and maybe 2%. And I might actually do the same thing I did before here, like this. Put this at 0, and then it quickly goes to around 1%. So if I move this, let's see how it's moving. There we go. And let's hear how this sounds. There we go, that's pretty good. I actually might want to adjust that a little bit more. I liked how it went up, but that's perhaps a bit too fast. Maybe something like this would be a bit better. But you can do this however you like. And now, let's do them both together. For this, I've actually tried to do it in parallel, but actually in parallel, it doesn't work that well. I'm getting phasing problems. I think it's better to do it serially like this. So having both of these together like this, move the jitter up, let's say about here or so. And then I have flutter, move it down a bit, and let's hear them both. As opposed to what we started off with this. One last thing I should talk about is the tremolo. You can use that to add a little bit more like grit to this if you like. So if I turn this down a little bit, so you can barely hear that jitter. So you can put that in there too if you like. So I hope you enjoyed this. What I like about this is it's very adjustable. Usually on tape simulations, the problem is they don't give you lots of parameters to adjust, but with this, you can adjust it however you like to get your own unique lo-fi sound. And like I said, it's really good for a number of different things. But if you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, check out all the other plugins at meldaproduction.com, and until next time, see you.